Hey everybody, Josh here. So the Apple Vision Pro is finally here, and it's probably one of the most highly anticipated product launches ever since maybe the original iPhone. The Vision Pro is Apple's entry into the AR/VR space, combining a lot of the hardware and software innovations that Apple has created over the past decade. Reusing parts like the crown from the Apple Watch, LiDAR sensors from their mobile devices, and of course, Siri. But on top of being inspired by the past, the Vision Pro also gets some advancements that we only get on the Vision Pro. In fact, just to create this one product, Apple filed 5,000 patents, which is insane. Now, you may be wondering, what's so special about this headset over any other headset out there? And for me, it's really three things that set this headset apart. So over the years, we've seen the development of virtual reality get better and better, but one thing that's sort of stagnated is the development of augmented reality. On the Meta Quest 2, the pass-through mode was in black and white and honestly looked pretty bad. And even on the $1,000 Quest Pro, the pass-through mode is still quite grainy. Now you might be asking, why is augmented reality even important at all? And for that, let me give you an analogy. So the AirPods Pro. These are some of the best-selling earbuds on the market right now, and they do one thing better than any other earbud out there. It's not the noise canceling, but it's the transparency mode. And in transparency mode, Apple has recreated the sounds around you so well to the point where you don't even realize that your ears are actually being plugged up by earbuds. Now, what Apple has figured out is that by creating a great augmented reality experience, this will allow users to keep the headset on for longer periods of time. Similar to how you can keep AirPods Pro in your ears all day, despite you not even listening to anything. You see, Apple is so good at creating these seamless experiences that blend into our lives, and I think a lot of companies tend to overlook this. So if Apple can truly pull this off and replicate what they're showing in advertising in these videos, then it's gonna be pretty incredible. All of this is pretty incredible stuff, and I do think that it's made possible by the displays. So at the core of the Vision Pro is the custom display that Apple has made for each eye. And really the biggest challenge here is how many pixels do we need to cram into this device to be able to fool the human eye into thinking that it's not even looking at a screen? And Apple seems to have figured this out. Now, for some context, the iPhone 14 Pro has a resolution of 1179 by 2556, or roughly 3 million pixels. Not bad. The Meta Quest Pro has a resolution of 1800 by 1920 per eye, which equates to roughly 3.5 million pixels per eye for a total of 7 million pixels. But even when I tested that headset out, I could still make out the pixels, especially when I was looking at small text. So what about a 4K TV? That roughly comes out to 8 million pixels. The Apple Vision Pro has over 11 million pixels per eye for a total of 23 million pixels, which is incredible. Apple has basically created their own custom micro OLED display that has the pixel density to fit 64 pixels in the space of one iPhone pixel. So really quite some impressive stuff here, and I think this plays a role in Apple having a successful augmented reality experience. So purely the resolution of the displays is amazing, but the third thing that impressed me was the interaction with the device itself. So almost every virtual reality headset before this one has shipped with controllers. The Meta Quest Pro also shipped with controllers, but on top of that, you could also use the device with just your hands. And it worked okay, I would say. It wasn't the most accurate thing in the world, and I think the worst part of it was just the fact that you had to hold your hands up in front of your face, which can get tiring after a while. The Apple Vision Pro doesn't ship with any controllers because everything is done with your eyes, your hands, and your voice. If you want to select something, you simply just look with your eyeballs where you want to tap, then tap your fingers together. Now, this is made possible by the many sensors around the device. In fact, just on the Vision Pro, there are 12 cameras, 5 sensors, and 6 microphones, which is crazy. So there were a couple of gestures that they demoed, like doing this tap motion, also swiping up and down, and then one of my favorites, pinching to zoom in, all of which can be done while keeping your hands in a comfortable resting position. This actually sort of reminds me of when the iPhone X came out and sort of revolutionized how we interacted with our smartphones with gesture controls. On the Vision Pro, you can also use dictation to search things and also use Siri to open apps, which I'm sure is going to come in handy. Now, one thing that a lot of headsets seem to struggle with is sound, because having good virtual reality is only half the equation. Having good sound is the other half of the equation. Now, the Vision Pro has built-in speakers on either side of the headset, but we won't know how good it'll sound until we actually get to try it in person. Apple also showed people using Vision Pro with AirPods, which I'm sure will create an even more immersive experience. And I had this idea, so I wonder if Apple's gonna do the thing where, you know that crown that you turn to decide how immersed you are into like virtual reality versus augmented reality? I wonder if you have AirPods Pro in, if that crown will also adjust how immersed you are, whether in transparency or active noise canceling. I think that'd be a really cool like integration. Now, Apple also announced some other features like 3D movies. But also on the note of 3D, Apple also announced 3D photos. That's right, you can actually use your goggles to take photos. And I'm just gonna go out and say this, but I think this is probably worse than using your iPad as a camera. So Apple has literally put a button on the device that acts as a camera shutter, utilizing the two cameras on the front to allow users to take 3D photos with the device itself. And on the one hand, you could say that capturing 3D photos open up a new way to relive those special moments in your life. But on the other hand, you're also potentially disconnecting yourself from that special moment with that huge headset on your head. Like imagine you're this little kid and you're seeing your dad wear this to take a photo of you on your birthday. A little bit creepy, a little bit weird, I don't know. But maybe a more useful feature is being able to connect to your MacBook and using your Vision Pro like a monitor. You simply just open your MacBook screen, look at it, and it connects seamlessly, giving you a screen that you can make bigger or smaller with a drag of your hand. And we've seen this on the Meta Quest Pro and it worked pretty well. In fact, on the Meta Quest Pro, you can actually add more than one monitor for like a triple monitor setup. So hopefully Apple can add that feature to the Vision Pro as well. Another interesting feature is using this render of yourself as a photorealistic avatar for FaceTime calls. And I mean, the results are okay, I guess. It still definitely has some sort of uncanny valley vibe to it, but I'm not sure if I'd prefer this or something like a Memoji. As far as gaming and socialization goes, we didn't get a whole bunch of information. We did see controller support, so somebody playing 2K with a PlayStation 5 controller, but there isn't any sort of open world app where you can meet up with friends. Now, this is something that Meta has definitely leaned into, as Meta is all in on the metaverse, but so far it doesn't seem like Apple is quite convinced that this is the future yet. But who knows, maybe Apple is testing the waters. Maybe we'll see some sort of app like this down the line with a more consumer-focused model of the Vision, maybe like the Vision Air. But for the first iteration, the Pro model, Apple seems to be leaning into the working professional demographic. Maybe for the users who want to boost their productivity with spatial interactions or consume media in a whole new way. With a price point of $3,499, it makes this out of reach for most consumers. But with its release, I'm sure it has generated plenty of hype and attention for VR and AR. And when this releases in early 2024, I'm sure a lot of people are gonna be flocking to Apple stores to try it out for the first time. There's this saying that goes like, to succeed, you either have to be the first, the best, or different. And while Apple may not be the first at a lot of things, they certainly tick those last two boxes. They obviously aren't the first to create a mixed reality headset, but they've definitely come on the market with the best display, the best mixed reality implementation, and a different way to control the device with gestures. So let me know your thoughts down below of what you think of the Apple Vision Pro. Definitely get subbed up to see more tech content. Leave a like on your way out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.